We have a seriously long list of animes to catch up on, but the thing is, every year the newest series just seem to get even better than the next. The latest animes just keep getting better and better, bringing fresh characters and revolutionary new ideas to the scene. We're finally getting to see some of their greatest mangas and light novels adapted into anime format, but do not fear. Mark our words, 2021 is going to be the greatest year for anime so far. With the global lockdown pushing some of the hottest series back, we are just as excited as all of you. Thank you for joining us today at Animeology as we run down the greatest upcoming animes of 2021. Number 10, To Your Eternity. This is one of the most wistfully beautiful fantasy series that we've ever come across. A majorly popular series in Japan, this series really rocked the Western manga world. In fact, To Your Eternity was inspired after the passing of the creator's grandmother. You are in for a seriously heavy ride. The series has a heavy focus on survival as well as the emotional development of a person. Think of the sort of bluntness you'd feel after experiencing heavy loss and that slow but steady return to normalcy. To Your Eternity really takes its time and fleshes out this extremely serious and somber journey. We follow the story of a mysterious immortal being that is new to planet Earth. No emotions, no identity, just a plain slab, able to emulate and take on the shapes of those that leave a strong effect. We see the strange alien absorb and mutate from rock to wolf, meeting a young boy, and the story really picks up from there. We're not going to reveal any more, but the sort of wonderment and maturity that To Your Eternity deals with, as well as the exceptionally interesting and intricate concepts that it covers, we've honestly never come across any work quite like this anime or otherwise. Number 9, The Way of the House Husband. Alright, we need to take a break after starting off that strong. The Way of the House Husband is a pretty new and exciting action comedy slice of life that is coming to Netflix. Yeah, surprisingly enough, Netflix has been making some pretty quality decisions with anime these days. They've probably subscribed to Animeology. The Way of the House Husband is inherently funny. Everything from the situations, the settings, and the characters are all funny on paper, as they are in anime form. We follow an ex-Yakuza boss that is retired from a life of crime and now lives as a house husband. Long gone are the days of the infamous and universally feared Yakuza boss, the immortal dragon, as he retires and supports his wife. Each episode is a really fun little scenario in which we see the thuggish and menacing figure deal with day-to-day chores. Occasionally seeing his old Yakuza buddies, a really brilliant, light-hearted and fantastic series. Hoping it'll span multiple series, honestly, the last time we saw something this ingenious was Great Teacher Onizuka. Number 8, Skate the Infinity. Funnily enough, Skate actually starts off as an anime series and then only became a manga. A fun and interesting look at the modern skateboarding scene, Skate has a real sense of modernity that many animes just don't seem to have. Sure, even the latest RPG isekai animes tend to feel a little outdated. Skate is as fresh as they come. Set in Okinawa, we follow a group of seriously hardcore skaters that engage in ultra-underground and seriously dangerous skating competitions. Highly illegal racers down insanely dangerous roads, through abandoned mines and rusty warehouses. We follow Reki, a well-known and highly skilled hardcore skater, as he adopts a fresh new transfer student into his hectic and menacing world of underground skateboarding. Skate plays more like a crime or mafia-type anime, considering the sort of vicious rivalries and enemies that exist between these skate gangs. Animation-wise, this series really stands out alongside the interesting and fresh view on middle-class Japanese students and the sort of messy behaviour they get up to. The visual design of the anime is truly in a league of its own. Number 7. Eden's Zero. This is one of those anime adaptations that we've been waiting for a really long time to arrive. Heavily pushed back due to the virus, turns out that Eden Zero is set to get a game made as well. Blending fantasy and science fiction with an awesome sense of adventure, we can't wait. The universe of Eden Zero is one that has us hooked from the very first issue. The ultra-futuristic spacefaring civilization filled with humans, aliens, and even sentient robots. All the separate planets and solar systems are the perfect reason to integrate some classic fantasy elements with this heavy space sci-fi backdrop. Crazy beasts such as cybernetic dragons and chronophage devouring planets and rewinding time creating alternative histories. Honestly, how awesome does all of that sound? Oh yeah, and they even rip off modern social media. There is a B-Cube video camera that allows content creators or B-Cubers to upload a pretty clear YouTube reference. But basically, all this technology runs on this magical power called Ether. This magical power can also have the effect of supernatural abilities on humans. It's around this concept that the core story revolves. Number 6. Tokyo Revengers. Tokyo Revengers brings a grim and gritty criminal story with an interesting and captivating main character. And then, out of nowhere, time travel. 12 years back to the past, that's right, Tokyo Revengers is an absolute genre bender, taking what it likes from the best anime tropes and creating a very exciting series from it. We follow Takamichi, a below-average nobody working a part-time job, getting hassled and bullied by neighbourhood troublemakers, and he's just not really enjoying life in general. Things take a turn for the worse one day when Takamichi learns that a girl he used to date was murdered in a gang-related killing. Later that day, pushed into the way of a train, he wakes up 12 years into the past with no idea what exactly he needs to do. Tokyo Revengers has a lot of interesting things going for it, from the story, the setting, the dialogue, but the real reason we hold this one out as one of the greats of 2021, the character study of Takamichi. Seriously, this MC is one of the most delightfully complex you will ever come across. Not some cartoony child cracking jokes, the writer puts him in very serious situations with very grey moral decisions. The right answer isn't always that clear to see, and we were hooked trying to find out what exactly Takamichi would be doing next. Number 5. Yakuza. Another brilliant series that Netflix has snapped up, and for good reason. Off concept alone, Yakuza is not going to be forgotten for a very long time. This series has been hyped around the world and takes a very fresh and revolutionary look at what we consider anime. An awesome action fantasy tale with the seriously underrated samurai twist. we take a look at the historical figure that was Yakuza. Of course, the creators take some freedom with what actually happened, but the series follows the African warrior that actually served during 16th century Japan. Set in an interesting alternative reality in which feudal Japan blended both magic and advanced technology, we follow the African samurai Yakuza. And his epic tale in the service of the Japanese lord, witnessing epic battles, defeats, and dealing with some very heavy themes. The story is actually set many years after all these events, with Yakuza trying to put his black samurai legendary status behind him as he seeks a quiet and peaceful life. But of course, you throw in a sick girl with mysterious magical power, a mythical doctor in a far corner of the country, as well as a ruthless mercenary hunting the innocent girl down. Well, doesn't look like Yakuza has much choice but to return to the life he tried to leave behind. Number 4. 86. '86 takes us back to the dying mecha and military science fiction genre. Seriously, we adore this and really don't appreciate what's been happening here as of late. Finally, a quality series that has been making waves across the manga scene is getting its anime adaptation, and honestly, we can hardly wait. Thrown into the middle of a 9-year-long war, we follow the juggernaut mecha units and their human controllers, handlers. The story of '86 takes us into a very heavy political and social commentary, something that is more relevant today than it's ever been. Jump headfirst into a story of corruption, kingdoms, betrayal, and of course, crazy awesome mecha fights. This is one series you do not want to miss. Number 3. Uzumaki. Now, this is an anime based on a manga that you've probably had very little experience in. It's a seriously underrated genre, but one that is done so well. Of course, you always see the harems, the fantasy, and the shonen, but what about true bone-chilling horror? We're not talking about scary-looking Shinigami, but actually chilling and terrifying horror. Uzumaki is a series we were waiting for throughout 2020. Push back, it's finally time. In fact, in order to preserve the artist's intention, the anime is said to be produced entirely in black and white. We follow the odd occurrences of this small town and this spiral curse resulting in citizens becoming obsessive, delusional, and paranoid. This isn't some scary monster shouting boo, but rather a slow burn, in-depth look into the human psyche and what truly makes someone insane. Number 2. Shaman King. Some of you older viewers might need us to repeat ourselves. You heard us. Shaman King is getting an anime series. Seriously, this is huge news. Like, iconic stuff. A series that started off in 1998 is finally getting a series made, and honestly, we can't wait. Shaman King was actually way ahead of its time in many ways. Readers really responded well to the supernatural adventures of Yo Asakura. As a shaman, Yo operates between the world of the living and the world of the dead. Join him as he departs on a journey to finally become the Shaman King. In order to become the Shaman King, he needs to win the Shaman Fight, an epic battle that happens once every 500 years. Join Yo as he trains and prepares himself for this once-in-a-lifetime chance. And number 1, Platinum End. I'm actually jumping around. That's how excited I am for the release of Platinum End. Brought to you from the same people that worked on Death Note, this series is going to be so great. A dark fantasy supernatural thriller, keyword here, thriller. Death Note is one of the greatest anime series ever created. We are certain that Platinum End is set to be even greater. The story of a young student that attempts to commit suicide but is rescued by a guardian angel. This guardian grants our MC the ability to actually be God. Seriously, God is set to retire in 999 days. Clearly, 2021 is the greatest year for anime so far.